So this is the last week of this training cycle. This has been a heavier, higher volume training cycle. Not a whole lot of singles or even doubles or triples. It's been a lot of sets of 5 and 6. In the beginning of the cycle, I even went up to sets of 10 and 12, but 5 and 6 reps with weights that used to be like all-out triples. For example, I was doing the 5x5 last week with 440 pounds in the squats. That's a weight I've only ever done for like one set of 3 in the past. So I was doing a lot of 5s and 6s with new weight, making it volume PR. So really heavy for me and a lot of volume. Feeling pretty beat up. This is gonna be my last week. Then we deload for a couple of weeks, and then we start our 6-week peak into regionals, and that'll be really exciting. So today was probably the first bad day I've had in squats in a long, long time. I can't remember the last time I had a bad day. It was weird. I didn't feel in the zone. I couldn't get my head in the zone at all. Very strange. Normally when I'm about to squat, I put my headphones in, you know, my heart's racing, my adrenaline's getting, like, it's pumping, and I just kind of get into the zone where I'm rearing to go. And today I just couldn't do that. I tried smelling salts, I tried music, but it didn't matter. Staring at 500 pounds, I could have taken a nap. I mean, I might as well have been thinking about what I was gonna eat for lunch that day. I just could not get into the zone or get hyped up for anything. So I worked up to 500 pounds. I wanted it to move at like an RPE 7, so like really easy and fast, and it just kind of felt like poop. It moved probably like an RPE 8, 8.5 even, just moved way heavier and slower than it should have. And then I had to back off to 460 pounds for one set of 3 to 4 reps. And I finished all 3 reps pretty cleanly. Felt really easy, actually. Definitely could have gotten the 4th, but just with how slow the weight was moving, I decided to rack it at 3 just to make sure I stayed real conservative. Left a little bit in the tank. And then I dropped down to 455 pounds. And I had to do 2 sets of 4. And that was pretty cool because that is definitely a rep and volume PR with 455. I remember before I hit 500 pounds for the first time in my life ever, a huge goal of mine was to be able to double 455. And I remember the first time I ever went for it, I tripled it, and I was so excited. So now to be doing actual working back off sets with that weight is pretty cool, but you can see that the weight just wasn't moving today like it has been moving in the past videos. Just feels heavier. Form is kind of breaking down into like almost like a 2-part motion. So when something like this happens, if it's just a one-time thing, like if the rest of your training has been going really well, which mine has, and it's just one day, don't overthink it. It's just the day. If everything's been going great, then there's no reason you should start stressing about anything. It's just a bad day. If your training is feeling like crap every single day and for weeks on end, then you have a problem that you need to address, whether it's going too heavy, your actual programming, your technique. But if it's just one day, you just gotta brush it off, guys. Don't overthink it. And I'm a big overthinker, so that's a lot coming from me. I'm a big overthinker, but today, I didn't overthink anything. Just it was a bad day and that was it. At most, you can pinpoint certain things that you think maybe were factors that you can change. Like for example, I squat about 3 to 4 times a week, and I usually end with heavy, high volume front squats, and that drains me. So I'll usually take 2 days off to rest and recover before I start the next week. This week I had to push my training forward a day, so I only got 1 day in between my heavy front squats and today's heavy back squats. So that might have been a factor. It might not have been a factor, I have no idea. So I just noted that, and I'll make sure I get 2 days of rest in between next time. Other than that, man, just a bad day, and you just shake it off, and we move on the bench. And it's very important that you learn how to shake something off right there in the moment too, especially if you're gonna compete in a powerlifting meet, because there might be a day where you go to compete in a meet and your squats just are feeling like crap for whatever reason. Maybe you only get your opener on squats. That's gonna really mess with your head. And if you take that with you onto the bench, you might mess yourself up on the bench because you're in your head too much, but you might have the ability to have a great bench session. So that's why it's important, if you have a bad squat session, okay, it's done, squats are over, move on, fresh slate for the next movement. So we moved on to bench pressing, and I had to do a 4x4 with 330 pounds. Another volume PR. That's the most I've ever moved 330 pounds for. All reps done with a pause, like in a competition. I could have been rattled from squats and taken that with me onto the bench and psyched myself out for the bench, told myself I couldn't do it, but I didn't. I snapped myself out of it. I acted like I didn't even do squats. I acted like I just came into the gym for the first time ever that moment when I sat down on the bench, and I refreshed my mind. I just cleared my head. I had not trained yet. I was just gonna start the day's workout with the bench. And I went in with that mentality, and it worked. Benching ended up feeling fine. Feel a little bit tight and kind of like overworked in the upper body in general. Nothing too severe, but strength-wise, I feel fine. So benching ended up going well. That's a volume PR. 16 reps total with 330 pounds, all with a pause. Very happy with that. Just wanted to share this with you guys. Everybody has bad days, I get them too. And the fact that I had a bad day on squats is extra crazy because squats is always like my sweet spot movement. That's like the one lift that I never have issues with, knock on wood. So just wanted to share that with you guys. You have a bad day and it's not something that's been happening consistently, brush it off. If there's something that was done that you think might have contributed to it, just note what you did, change it for the next time, move on. Guys, the Floyd Mayweather versus McGregor official promo video used my cousin's music in it. Jay Wright, I use his music all the time. They use the song Delay. It's a song I've actually used in my own video, and they contacted him and used it. The video already has like 1 million views. It's that bad boy right there, and it starts about 2 minutes and 30 seconds in.
Let's go. Waking up early, I'ma never be late. Writing what I want, like y'all better relate. And we celebrating life till we better see straight. They tryna hold me back, but I'll never delay. Nah, I never delay. Nah, I never delay. Yeah, that type of music make 'em wanna replay. Nah.
That is so awesome, so crazy. I'm so excited for my cousin. Congratulations again, Josh. That is just, I'm excited for him, man. That's big. As far as the fight goes, my personal predictions. I'm a huge Conor McGregor fan, obviously, but to be unbiased, to be objective, and to be simply honest, he's going against Floyd Mayweather, who's the most technical boxer out there. I know McGregor has some boxing experience. It's not on the level of Floyd, though. Floyd's gonna beat him, I think. I think it's gonna be a decision win. I don't think Floyd's gonna knock him out or anything exciting like that, but I think Floyd's most definitely gonna win. I think the only way Conor could actually win is if, by the grace of God, he got blessed with some sheer 1 in a million fluke luck on the night of that match. I don't know what it would be, but that I think is the only way he could win. Otherwise, just skill versus skill in a boxing-only match, Floyd Mayweather has him beat all day, and that's just facts. That's coming from a McGregor fan. Obviously, if it was an MMA fight, McGregor would dust the floor with Floyd, but it's a boxing match, and that's where Floyd is king. So that's my predictions. Floyd's gonna win. It's gonna be a bad decision. Nothing super exciting like a knockout or anything, but I don't think McGregor will win. While we're at the computer, let's take a look at the views, right? We got 40,000, bunch of 20,000s, 35, 57, 38. These are right about at 20,000. This last video, freaking dead, mate. Only 8K in a day. Granted, real-time views don't update that fast. That's why we as YouTubers go into our analytics to see what the views really are. So that might be like 10 grand or whatever, but still, a lot of y'all missed that last video. Probably a weak thumbnail, probably a shitty title, whatever. But I'm just here to say that that last video you guys might find a little interesting, a little helpful. It really focuses on weak point training, which is very important when you are strength training because it's easy to just train the main movements and get stronger and stronger, especially the movements that you're good at. But then what happens when you start to plateau? How do you fine tune those major lifts? So go to that last video, the one I uploaded right before this, and check it out. Just because I think it's a decent video worth watching. How good does that look? This is the half roasted duck. I've shown you guys this before. I'm obsessed with it. So good. Those are mashed potatoes, the red potatoes, all seasoned, and then squash. So good. Talk about a good night feast before deadlifts tomorrow. Okay, camera feature's not working on my camera at the moment for God knows why. Technical glitch. So we're gonna screenshot this thumbnail. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Screenshot. Maybe hold the duck up more. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Right there. Yeah, and people still gonna say it's Photoshop. It's called the sharpen tool under half natty lighting. So I made a major tweak to my deadlift technique and it made a night and day difference. I actually learned it from doing my pause deadlifts last week. I told you in that last video that no one watched that they were hurting my lower back. And as I progressed doing my sets with them, I realized that the further forward I pushed my body, meaning the higher up my hips would stay at a starting position, the better it felt on my back. So I applied that to today's normal deadlifts, and it just makes sense. My hips need to be at a higher starting position, and I always tried to keep them at a kind of higher position because I knew that's where I was strongest, but I would always kind of keep my shoulders a little bit too far back as well. So my shoulders would be kind of pushing into where my hips wanted to stand, and it caused that flexion in my lower back. So this time I let my shoulders just kind of go pretty far in front of the bar, and it put my hips in the optimal position, and I really got an amazing hip hinge out of this positioning, and I felt super strong. So I worked up to 545 pounds today with a stiff bar, and it moved probably the fastest mid 500s has ever moved for me. I mean, like almost at an opener speed. So what a major difference. I backed off to doing 495 for a set of 4, again with the stiff bar, and same thing, felt amazing. The one weakness I still have obviously is my glutes, so pushing my hips through at the very top is still a weakness. I have a soft lockout. So as I backed off to 455 for my last drop down sets, I really focused on snapping my hips through at the top, and that made an even bigger difference. So I'll just continue to apply that as I go, but huge deadlift progress that I learned from yet another bad day. So again, you can learn from your bad days. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.